Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the no item run for the red zone stage versus Broly. So we have a pretty solid kind of idea as to how they take on Broly. For me, talking about Broly, obviously from like a functional perspective, I think it's a pretty interesting fight. Broly has a couple phases, nothing too wild in terms of like, mechanics or gimmicks or anything like that, which I think is, commendable. It's kind of just like a raw power, but still a pretty tough, kind of fight. I think definitely not the hardest red zone, but still, relatively challenging. So you can stun Broly in the first phase. This is obviously something that is quite helpful overall, and something I do suggest players do to kind of mitigate a bit of what Broly is about, although the first phase doesn't hit too hard. Then we move into Broly's second phase, which is a tech phase. Here he's immune to stunning and sealing, and he also raises his defense one turn on his super. And then finally we have his physical phase, where he's immune to stunning, sealing, attack lowering, defense lowering, and he raises his attack on his super. Now Broly hits relatively hard, but honestly this fight very, very simple and straightforward. Now to kind of no item it, you need a decently scaling team, possibly a team that brings with it a really, really good mixture of units. Some healing would be nice as well. Quite solid from the point of healing, providing just a bit of stability in the later rounds as you start to kind of get chipped away in terms of health. And just in general, a really, really solid kind of functional presence of giving your team a good foundation. So how do we do that? Well, we go with probably one of the most broken teams in the game right now, Martian Power. Martian Power is, I don't want to say easily one of the best teams in the game, but definitely functionally operates at a different level to a lot of the other teams. It's limited in terms of roster size, but when you do have that roster, you are, for lack of a better terms, really, really, really strong. If you look at, for example, like top tier units on the team, you've got Tech, Boo, Tech transforming Evil Boo, fantastic unit, incredibly strong, very, very powerful. Then you have physical LR Boo, also fantastic, scales really well, super quick scaling, lovely healing, guard, dodge, really the whole shebang. Then you have physical Kid Boo. Needs a little bit of build up, but probably the best support in the game. I think it's not a far stretch to say he's the best support in the game. Definitely operates the best, very fully functional, super duper solid. And then on top of that, you still have a great other roster of characters. We have the Int Boo Good, who, by the way, really fantastic unit, really starting to fill out quite nicely. In your harder events, he comes out and does way more than he does in your easier events, because he can actually die in the harder events. So when he does, he can really end up being super duper functional. He just becomes an absolute brick wall. He heals, he's got his Ghost Usher ability, he starts to do decent damage as well. So you've got the Int Boos kind of showing out. You got physical Buhan, who you can just stack and stack and stack until you transform him with pretty much no risk in any of the current events. You've got the Tech Boo, can't take any damage, the dodge, really, really good. And then you have some interesting side selections. So depending on your event, you might want to go like 50% physical support Boo. Maybe you want to go and do like the Boo, Mr. Boo. If you have the Evil Boo, the Tech Evil Boo, that's a great unit who really meshes well with the team. So there's tons of really good options from that perspective that really kind of give a good baseline for this team. You know, give it a really, really strong foundation, give it a really, really good functional level that they can run at, and it ends up having a really good time. Functionally speaking, not a lot of holdback on it. Very nice set rotations. You can run, you know, Int Boo, Mr. Boo. You can run Int Boo and Tech Boo. You can run Boohan and the 50% support. You can run Kid Boo and Boohan. You got so many different variants on the rotations that you can do, especially in non-AoE events, because there you kind of get to sit back, relax, and have the Int Boo do his thing. The debate on whether to run double Int Boo or to run Int Boo and another LR Boohan, I feel like just depends on the dupes in your Int Boo. I find double Int Boo is a very nice situation to have. Tons of healing, two very tanky units that help out a lot. With that being said, having double Boohan definitely feels more impactful when you have them both transform. When they both transform, they do a lot of heavy lifting, especially damage-wise. They can do some very good damage. So I do find that double Boohan, at least for me, feels like the better damage pick. But with that being said, definitely feels like the Int Boos, I mean, obviously, are the better tankier fit, which I think just depends on your playstyle as a character. But yeah, once you get to the final stages, that's when you get to really go all out. You can transform the tech Boo, you can have the physical Boohan come out and do his thing as an LR, and he'll look really, really good. So all in all, you start to really just kind of show out and do your thing, and you start to just have a good time. Not really too much holding you back, team functioning as expected, and ultimately everything working as intended, I think. So for me, definitely I will say, I find the Boo team to be pretty much as good as it gets functionally right now. I think for the level of content that's out on Global, they are pretty much the go-to team for, I want to say, every run. Like every single red zone, they can probably handle pretty easily. So yeah, I really do think they are probably as good as it gets. So very, very fun units, very fun team. Really, really enjoyed using them. And yeah, I think for me, no complaints really. This no item run was pretty fun. Obviously, yeah, I think in terms of tactics, because there's no AoEs, because there's no specific gimmicks, I do think it's a lot easier to build and hold a team for this kind of event, and just kind of have some set strong units with stronger auxiliary supports floating around, instead of having to do like a whole bunch of weird builds where you have like, you know, multiple tanks or variants or anything like that. But hey, it is what it is, at least for me. So I think overall, really good time. And yeah, to be honest, very good. Excellent team, fully functional. I don't really have anything to say because they just work so well. And yeah, I think Boohan obviously leads the way. I think there's definitely a, how can I say, there's definitely a concern I have for how well they'll scale in future. Depends on what kind of power creeps we get, because they've gotten so many buffs in a single time. So they could be just very, very powerful now, and then kind of fall off, just due to like the fact that they just don't get buffs for like another year, 2 years. It could happen. It did kind of happen to Majin Buu Saga before. Like I think we had WWC, we had Vegito, Boohan all come out. We had a whole bunch of EZAs, new general banner units, and then really, really good, and then fall apart. You know what I mean? Like really fall apart and just become really, really like deal with everything. So yeah, I think besides that, The team itself is really awesome, and for me, definitely probably the easiest team to not item most content with, let alone this specific red zone. But still, no items are no items, and you gotta take them when you can take them. So we take it. We take it, we claim it. We do something fun, we just enjoy it, and yeah, there you go. No iteming the content is as simple as earning an LR Buhan, basically, at this point. So yeah, but that's gonna be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, bye.